Welcome to Friday Fish Facts. I'm your host, Ron DeSantis. We've got a very special guest with us today. Somebody I put in the category of filmmaker more than just fish tuber. I really have two people that really, are filmmakers in my opinion. And Ray is one of them. So Ray, hello, welcome.
Hi guys, how's it going?
We're doing good, thank you.
Thanks for having me on, Ron. It's a real honor.
And Ray is one of them. So Ray, hello. Okay, I've got a little bit
Hi guys, how's it going? Oh, I hear some echo.
I know, I hear echoing as well.
It's a real honor. The question is it on my side or your side?
I think it's mine.
Oh, I hear some echo.
I know, I hear echoing as well.
A real honor. The question is it on my side or your side?
That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. I actually closed the live stream down. Let's see.
Okay, I fixed it. We're all good.
Hey!
The only problem is I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to flick back and forth of the screen right now. But that's okay. We can see Ray, and that's what we need to see right now. Because we see me every week, and we don't really need to see that.
Yeah, I'm elusive and very aloof. So you caught me. I'm here for the next hour. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll do the best we can to answer them.
We've got a lot of cool people here already. We've got Feastag, Dub Rexy, Ernie from Ernest Aquatics. We've got That Pet Channel, Amber, Big City Bettas, Garcia 1170, Sons of the Sea Aquatics. The Turtle Girl is here. And Ken is here. Mile High Plecos, Island Queen, Candy Overhauls, Superior Guppy, and Lisa's Fish Bowl, Ono's Fish Corner, Alluring Bettas, Daniel's Fish Keeping, Aquarium Monsters, yes, Cichlid OG, Daryl Dimer. Hello. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So, Ray, how did you get into fish keeping?
Well, I think a lot of people share the same story that I have. Basically, my mom was actually a fellow fish nerd, and growing up, she had all sorts of aquariums. In fact, one of my fondest memories of being a kid is actually messing with her tanks. And I actually got into quite a little bit of trouble doing so, you know, being the eager beaver and always trying to help her do water changes and other things. And, you know, it was the standard tank that everybody probably had, like, in the early 90s, where it's kind of a hodgepodge of fish. And what I recall is that she mostly had like a 40 breeder tall, I think is what it was called back then.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird tanks. And we had angelfish, we had schooling fish, we had plecos. What else? I feel like there was an iridescent shark thrown in there too, because back then it was like the Wild West of fish keeping. There weren't any Facebook groups. There weren't any
internet.
Like, yeah, basically no forums or anything like that. So we had an eclectic mixture, and it was definitely my favorite part of being a kid. So thanks, Mom, if you're watching, because she's probably the reason why I am the way I am today.
Well, that's awesome. I'm guessing they were probably mostly common plecos.
Of course, because if I'm not mistaken, that was really the only thing you could find back in the day. We didn't have all, like, you know, the L insert numbers here and all the cool ones, so it was always common plecos.
Yeah, I remember when Bristlenose came out.
That was it was like the latest and greatest, right?
I know, a Bristlenose. Wow, it doesn't get huge.
Oh my gosh, they have albino ones now. Like, that was too cool for school.
I mean, I'm a huge pleco person myself. I've got 9 different species going on over here. But
wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so what got you into YouTube, Ray?
Funny story. Bob Steamfot. I used to be a pretty regular gal in his live streams, and I forgot exactly why, but Bob told me that I should upload a video of the German blue rams that I had bred and put them on YouTube. And at first I was like, you know, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get involved with all of that, but I had a camera laying around, I shot some stuff, I put it on there, and it kind of snowballed after that. And then before you know it, here I am. I'm sitting on a live stream with you, still making videos when I can, and yeah, it's just weird to think that 2 years ago I wasn't really doing this, and here I am with you, with all of you.
So that first video there, I think that one's got a couple 2,000 views or something like that. So was that one a hit right from the beginning, or have some of your subscribers gone back and watched that one?
you know, I'm really not sure. I really don't get that much traffic on those old videos, which is okay, honestly. There doesn't need to be that much traffic there. Please do not watch them by all means, because you know how it is when you get those first few videos out and you're just kind of fooling around. And yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was a lot of fun to make.
So what was the first video where you decided to show your face in?
I feel like it was still an update video for my German blue ram fry. Back then, I actually didn't have pink hair, which is weird to think about now, because I had taken a break from the pink hair. So if you go back and you watch that video, you can actually see what I look like with my natural hair color for anybody who's interested. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that video. And I could see it. I just can't remember exactly which one it is.
Well, I think at one point I remember you changed it, and then there was an outcry, and people wanted the pink hair to come back. That kind of rings a bell with me.
Yeah, I dyed my hair red once.
Right.
That's the last time I'll ever do that.
We got a few more cool people up in this chat. I just want to say hello to Cameron, Learning to Fish Keep, Max Cypress LL, Lisa's Fishbowl, who has just ordered 6 blue-eyed albino bristlenose plecos. So excited. I believe that's the L144. Aquafunk is in the house. Rob93 is in the house. And Full Moon Aquatics is here as well.
Who else? Oh, Lumpy Dog.
Lumpy Dog is here too. Fancy Tail Aquatics is also here. So Ray, what is your favorite video that you have made so far?
Gosh, that's kind of a hard question, to be honest. Probably the wild betta video, because at the time that I filmed it, I didn't realize that the wild bettas would capture my attention as much as they ended up doing. So you can honestly kind of see a shift in my attention from like domesticated betta splendens over to wild type bettas, hybrids, and other types of bettas that you don't normally see. So I think that's my favorite so far, but I'm sure if you were to ask me that question like a week from now, I'd probably have a different answer.
Mile High Pleco says that he's going to dye his hair pink. That would be awesome. If you decide to do that, Trevor, you are definitely coming on an episode.
Oh my gosh.
We all want to see that.
I would love to see that. We'd be twinsies.
Christina says that the wild bettas seem to catch a lot of people's attention. And they are. They're hot right now, for sure.
Yeah, and you know what? It's long overdue, honestly, because the domestic betta splendens has been, you know, a good staple in the hobby, but I think a lot of people are missing out on what wild bettas and like wild type bettas can provide. They're really neat.
We've got a question here from Amber. She's saying that any wild betta species you have plans on working with in the near future?
Oh, yes. Right off the bat, Betta Hendra for one. I would love to have Betta Hendra. And also there's another Betta out there that I haven't been able to find, but I think it's called Betta Brownerum or Brownerum. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but those are like my holy grail of Bettas right now. And yeah, if anybody sees them, please let me know. Tag me, DM me, show me who's got them, because I would love to have them.
I'm kind of getting into bettas myself. I only have 4 right now.
Only 4?
I know.
Oh man, it's a snowball effect.
I know it is. I would just like to say thank you very much to Bob Steamfot for the $5 super chat.
Hey Bob!
Who is Ray's favorite fish tuber?
Oh, I'm inclined to say Bob. I mean, he's the one that kind of started my whole thing. So, I can't play favorites though. You know what I mean? Jelly Bean, like, there's just way too many good people out there, and I feel like I'd leave somebody out if I said my favorite. So I abstain.
I've got another question here from Aquafunk Aquatics. Jay's asking, what is that pleco that looks platinum, or is it just really cool albino? The long fin, I think you mean. Yeah,
I actually have a blue-eyed long fin back there. Oh, actually, unless you're saying this one's just a regular albino crystal nose. I have 3 in here, and before the live stream started, I actually threw in some food, so you'll see them kind of scurry about.
Have you had them breed in there for you?
No, every single Pleco I buy ends up being a female. I've actually never been able to get my hands on a male. It's the craziest thing. I've had 4 or 5 of them, and they've all been female.
They are harder to find for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. But if you buy them bigger, but I mean, then you're spending more money.
This is true. One day.
One day. So, Ray, you've got a bunch of different tanks going on over there. Saltwater, freshwater, black water. What's your favorite tank that you have right now?
Probably the Blackwater, honestly, just because the ease of maintenance is really awesome. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a set it, forget it type of tank, but it kind of is. And I like the way that it looks too, with the botanicals and all the natural looking tannins and everything. I think that is probably the closest to a natural environment that I would like to recreate.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to have so many more of them in the future. So don't be surprised if you guys see an influx of Blackwater tanks, because it's probably going to be happening soon.
I think they're pretty cool too. Fancy Tail Aquatics is asking, what type of guppies is it in the tank behind you, and is the kitty sleeping on there?
Yeah, she is. She's had a hard day. So Kato will probably be there for the entirety of the live stream, and the guppies in here that, as you guys will see, they're actually black Moscow guppies. I have a whole bunch more males than I normally have, so if you notice, they have extremely long finnage. I think they're beautiful. Yeah. And there's also females in there that have high dorsal fins, which I think are super cool. And I'm kind of hoping that most of the fry come out with high dorsal fins. We'll see, though.
Bob says that, I'll take it. She said my name briefly. Bob, if you missed the beginning, Ray actually totally credited you with her starting YouTube. So thank you very much from all of us, Bob.
It's true.
Okay, Ray, you've got a video that has, last time I checked, which was about 2 days ago, 136,000 views on it. How do you make a video that becomes so popular like that?
Honestly, sometimes I feel like it's just luck. Luck. Sometimes tags, you know, the whole SEO thing that a lot of us YouTubers do. Mm-hmm. The thing is, though, I don't really feel like you can plan for videos like that, because it seems to be that the videos you don't expect to take off are the ones that do take off.
I hear a lot of people say that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really just an unboxing video. I'm not really sure why it became the monster that it is today, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I just don't know if I'll be able to recreate that.
Bob is throwing out the $1 super chats there, 2 in a row.
Holy moly!
Thank you very much, Bob. Really appreciate that over here.
Steam Pot's laying down the big guns.
He is. A few other people that I want to say hello to while they're here. Phoenix Aquatic 411 Legacy. That is Melvin. Hello, Melvin. Corvus Ocean. Joel, hello. Welcome.
Oh, hi, Joel.
Thank you very much for stopping in. Joe from the JQ channel. Hello. The Cove. Hello. And if I have missed you, I apologize. Daniel Fishkeeping, I believe I have missed you, but hello. Thanks for stopping in, everybody, and thank you for chatting with Ray today. So, Ray, are Bettas your favorite fish?
I think this is where I'm supposed to say yes.
No. That was just a guess.
So, they're definitely top 5. But my favorite fish would definitely probably have to be dwarf cichlid. I think we all know them. Okay. The German blue ram, Microgeophagus ramirez, I think is their scientific name.
Yeah.
They started it all for me when it comes to this hobby, so I would have to say that they're my favorite. And I'm super sad because I don't have any right now, and I feel like that needs to change.
I feel like that needs to change too. Bob is throwing $1 bills here. Yeah. I'm not sure what he's trying to accomplish with these. I don't know if that's for me. If I'm supposed to be doing something, I'm just gonna keep going here with the chat. Have you seen the at my fish auction actually that I was just at? Well, not just, in November. There was a pair. I bought a pair of electric blue gold head rams. and
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't see
realize
that.
how cool they looked until I got them home, and I wish I bought more.
Yeah.
Have you got any more other ram experience besides the regular German blues?
Let's see. I feel like I also had a pair of gold rams at one point, but for whatever reason, they didn't do too well. And I kind of credit that to the fact that a lot of the rams that you see in today's industry are actually bred overseas, like mass quantities.
Mm-hmm.
So when they get shipped over here, they're already so kind of inbred and just weak that they tend to not do well. At least that's how it was in my experience with personally keeping them. And also when I used to work at a pet store, they seem to be the most frail because they were just not genetically sound. Oh, I kind of went off on a tangent there.
That's
I
okay.
forgot where I was going with that.
That's
But
okay.
no, I don't have any other experience with other ones. I would like to. There is actually a really cool breeder who I think is getting out of the hobby now, but he's called Geotropics. And
Mm-hmm.
if you've ever seen his rams, they are absolutely stunning. They he actually has his own trademarked ram. I believe it's called the Moon Dragon,
Okay.
and it basically looks like a light blue gold-headed ram, but it's got long finnage, and it's like the most ethereal ram you'll probably ever see. I don't know what's going to happen to them, though, since he's getting out of the breeding hobby,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't think they'll be available anymore unless somebody else knows somebody who has them. But say once again, if somebody knows who's got the moon dragons, hit me up because I'm in the market.
I've got somebody wants to say hi, I think. Here, one sec here. This is Spartacus right here. That's Spartacus.
Oh, hello, kitty. I'm gonna try not to shriek like the crazy cat lady, though.
And then I've got my dog at my feet here, but she's too heavy to pick up and show you.
Aw, I love it.
You did a video on a care guide for ram's horn snails.
Yes.
The only one I've ever seen. I have them
Really?
unintentionally, and I feed them to my loaches. Just kind of, it's a good food for
Hey,
them. They like it, right?
no harm, no foul. I actually started keeping snails because I had pea puffers.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of an ulterior motive, so to speak. I ended up buying them to breed for my pea puffers, and then I realized just how much I actually like snails. And I feel like they get a bad rap a lot of the times, and they're kind of like the unsung hero of the aquarium. They do
Yeah.
a lot of the dirty work, so I love them, but I didn't know that there really wasn't another guide. There should be more.
There
I
should
feel like there
be.
should be more.
So, what is your favorite snail?
Probably still the ram's horn, although
Yeah.
I do love the assassin snail, which I have as well, but I haven't done like any sort of care videos on. I actually have a rack system back there that I just put up, and I have rabbit snails in there right now. So we'll see what happens with the rabbit snails. They're super fun, and it might be a start of another addiction, so to speak. I love invertebrates, so I'm always looking for more.
Yeah. We've got a few more people that have joined us. We've got Tom is here. The Salty Reefer is here. Aqua
Oh,
Apprentice.
Matthew Moore Cichlids,
Matthew Moore
hi.
Cichlids is in the house.
Oh, it's Aqua Apprentice. Hello. Sorry guys, I'm watching the chat, but this is not overwhelming for me, but this is my first live stream, so
And you're doing
forgive me.
you're very comfortable. You're very
Oh,
comfortable with
thanks.
it.
Oh, stop.
Therese is here. LS Aquariums is here. And I did see a question from Corvus Ocean. What's that on the wall behind you?
Is it this wall, Joel? Is it that wall right there? That's my nerd wall, at least part of my nerd wall. So let me see.
He
Oh,
might mean the tanks behind you. I'm not sure. He could mean the
yeah.
nerd wall.
Which wall? I got lots of walls with lots of different stuff on them. Could you be more specific, Joel?
Oh, I also got a couple more shout outs. One fish, two fish. Hello, Liz. Golden fish tank. Hello. How are you? Okay, I think I'm a little bit behind in the chat. Okay, now I'm caught back up. Okay, if we get Joel to clarify which wall we're talking about, Joel, we can get that question answered for you. So
Bueller.
Bueller, if you were going to give one tip about breeding bettas, what would that tip be?
Patience, honestly. I feel like when it comes to betta breeding, a lot of people just jump into the hobby, but they don't really do their research, or at least they think that they do a lot of research, but it's not until you really have gotten into breeding bettas that you realize how deep in the stuff that you really are, because it's a lot of work. Because not only do you have to condition your pairs correctly for at least a few weeks, in my opinion, but everything that comes.
How do you condition yours?
Just frequent water changes and lots of good food. But in my opinion, lots of good food would be mostly like frozen foods or live, as opposed to like pellets or flakes or stuff like that. Okay. Pellets and flakes are good for like supplementation, but I think that it shouldn't be the bulk of the Bettas diet when you're trying to breed them. That is. So I would say that definitely do your research, condition your fish well, but also be aware that it's going to take a lot of effort. I mean, when I spawned my bettas, I ended up with like over 60 jars, and that meant that I had to do water changes every single day. Every single day for hours. And it's not something that like you can put off until the next day and say, oh, you know, I'll just do it tomorrow, because they depend on you given the space that they're in. So I think that a lot of people aren't really truly ready sometimes for how much work they are. But if you do enough research, you'll be okay. But just don't jump into it.
You've had, we've kind of briefly touched on your saltwater tank. What are some of the difficulties that you've had with the saltwater tank? I know you have mentioned some things, but let's hear.
So I have come to the conclusion that I love saltwater a lot. But it's not that I'm not good at it, but there's a lot of things going into saltwater that you have to maintain. And if you let anything slip parameter-wise, like whether it be too many phosphates in the water, not enough calcium, it can really have a detrimental effect on your corals, the way they grow, just how the aquarium looks. So I ended up actually bombing my reef tank, which you guys can't see because it's back there. But I had let some algae called Kato die off, and it ended up polluting my tank. And I ended up having a lot of algae grow in place because there was nutrients in the water, and all of the green hair algae and everything just kind of blew up. I have not been able to get rid of that algae, but I realized that I was actually treating for the wrong thing. After I had got rid of all the excess nutrients in the water, comes to find out that it wasn't really the nutrients. I had my light settings done incorrectly. So it's little things like that that you don't have to deal with when it comes to fresh water. So, for instance, I realized that I had my lights about 10 to 15% stronger on the white spectrum than they should have been. And that has been the source of my, like the bane of my existence for the last 4 months. And it took me that long to figure that out. So.
I mean, not everyone has time for saltwater, but I mean, that's kind of why I haven't really started it. I think I will one day, but I haven't tried it yet.
Well, you know, it's not that bad. Like, don't let me scare you or like talk you out of it, because it is a lot of fun, but it can be a lot of work when something goes out of whack, and you just have to like have the time really to try to figure it out. And sometimes it takes longer than it does to diagnose freshwater problems.
I would just like to say thank you to Aquafunk for being pushy. I am following along in the chat as well. I appreciate that he's getting people to hit that like button, and I really appreciate that. So, Ray, your worst day in fish keeping. We have watched that video. Do you think you'll ever get Blue Phantom Plecos again?
I would love to. I haven't seen them available, though. But I would love to, because I feel like I robbed myself of the chance of breeding them because I made such a detrimental mistake. And for anybody who doesn't know, I ended up killing my group of Blue Phantom Plecos because I left them in a 5-gallon bucket with a heater on, but I had forgotten to turn my air stone on. So I essentially suffocated them. And it still really hurts to talk about, but I would love to try again. And yeah, hopefully never make that mistake again too, because it's one of those things where you don't really think can be detrimental, but when you have a heater and it's heating up the water, and it's, you know, low oxygen and everything. It's just not a good mix.
Just a friendly reminder to anyone in the chat, if you have any questions for Ray, go ahead and throw it in there, and I will definitely get to them. Ray, you've had German blue ram fry, as well as betta fry and stuff like that. Do you ever feed them baby brine shrimp? And if so, do you hatch them yourself?
I do. Oh, man. If I can avoid it, though, I will. Mostly because I set my brine shrimp hatcheries up in the closet. So it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And sometimes I forget to replace the BBS or start new hatcheries.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not very good at it.
That's okay. So
I
you
try.
put it in the closet with a light on it?
Yes, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, so there's not a whole lot of space. So I can't really sleep with the lights, or if there's like a bright light on. So I put it in the closet so I don't have to think about it. But it's a double-edged sword because then I forget about it.
I've got a few more people in here. We've got Jeff Rowe Fish Keeping. Hello, Jeff Rowe. Mandy, My Hectic Life Pets. I've actually made a video today about baby brine shrimp, which I had the luxury of watching. Sorry, what were you going to say, Ray?
Sorry, I see a question from Sons of the Sea Aquatics. And he asked, what's your dream tank that you would set up if you had the space, or if space and money was not an option? And I don't really know if my dream tank would be realistic, to be honest, because it would probably consist of nothing but seahorses and a leafy sea dragon. And I don't even know if it's possible for a regular Aquarius to keep a leafy sea dragon in captivity, but I would like to try. Dang it, I would try.
There's seahorses there. I've seen them for sale once at the local fish store that has saltwater, and they're $500 each. So they're not a cheap item.
No, they're really not. And unfortunately, due to, you know, pollution, climate change, and everything, they're having a rough go at it. Oh, and overfishing too. Some other countries fish them for their exoskeletons. So captive bred seahorses are very expensive.
We've got a few other people in here. Reels Tanks, Long Island Fish Guy, Anthony, hello. Mob Guppy, hello. Aquarismo Jumbo, hello. And Lunar Bettas, hello. If I missed you on the chat, I am very sorry. I am trying to do my best to catch everyone.
Hi, Luna Betters. Blah. Tongue got tied.
E-Money says he sees them all the time at Petland. That's cool. My Petland has no saltwater stuff.
Oh, I don't think I have a Petland near me.
So, Ray, you've got a website, and if you want to buy stuff on your website, it sends you directly over to eBay. What types of things do you sell on your website, and do you ship to Canada?
Well, the quick answer for that would be no, unfortunately. I'm not really sure how expensive it would be to export into Canada, but from what I've heard from other friends, it's not exactly financially doable sometimes. Yeah, and plus like customs and imports and everything.
Yeah.
So
it's
my
basically
eBay is
$100 to ship one fish.
Oh my god!
I know, that's why I miss out on all that.
I'm having heart palpitations just thinking about
even
it.
Even within Canada, it's $100 to ship a fish.
Yeah, and shipping is only getting more and more expensive, which isn't necessarily a bad thing depending on which carrier you use, but it does mean that, you know, consumer pays the price in the end. But my eBay store is mostly for snails because I used to actually breed a whole bunch and sell them. I've been out of snails for months though, so I don't know if I'll ever start selling them again. We'll see. We'll see.
We got a question from Aquafunk. What type of fish would you never keep, Ray?
Ooh, never keep, eh? Oh gosh, I love them all. They're all so beautiful. I mean, I want to say common plecos just because it's easy. I mean, if I had the space, maybe I would reconsider that, but I just feel like they get so big. But my next choice would probably be a red-tailed cat, just because I don't really think I could ever give it what it needs to actually live.
Yeah, they get pretty big. Like
they get way too big. Yeah. And honestly, like I don't really want to fish that big. No. I feel threatened by its size.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm like my biggest would be like a foot. And that would be like when my clown loaches get that big, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I feel like anything else bigger than that, man, it's just too much. I can't even imagine what the food costs must
Oh
be.
yeah, I know. Got a question from Aqua Apprentice. Are you officially sponsored by Flip Aquatics, or is it just for that video?
Oh no! So, just in full disclosure for anybody else who's interested, Rob and I, he's an awesome guy. His company is great. Him and his wife, they're just excellent people. So, I did decide to actually do a sponsorship with them. So you guys will actually see us working together on several projects over the course of the next year. And I am really
Also,
excited.
Rob will be a guest on an upcoming episode of Friday Fish Facts.
Woo, woo! I'm so glad he said yes.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's cool.
Go ahead.
I just realized I'm kind of blurry. There we go.
Okay,
It'll
sorry
fix
about
itself.
that. So, Ray, what's your favorite aquarium plant?
Probably a Nubius. I like Nubius
Yeah.
Nana Petite a lot. I think that it's so tiny and so cute, and I can't kill it. So it's just a win-win, honestly.
So we briefly, before we came on air, we briefly actually talked about this. How was the aquatic experience? And do you have any plans to go to any more fish conventions?
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned the aquatic experience because I'll actually be going again this year. And I'll also be doing Aquashella in both Dallas as well as Chicago. So if anybody comes to those conventions, you guys can see me as well as everybody else who's going to be there because it's going to be insanity. But I am actually working on putting together a fish tube booth for all of us to use. So that's going to be
cool.
super cool. I can't wait for you guys to just see the things that we have planned for you guys because it's going to be insane. It's going to be so much fun. And I just, like, I feel like a mastermind. Like, I'm scheming up a whole bunch of stuff, but nobody really knows yet. But you guys will see shortly, especially if you come to Dallas.
Have you been to those cities before, Dallas or Chicago?
Never.
Oh, that'll be
Never.
fun.
First time, so.
Cool. So, like I was saying earlier, like you're kind of like, I put your video like up here as far as quality, like Jimmy at Aquarium Co-op's up there, you're up there, like you guys are like filmmakers with your stuff. Just wondering what type of camera and editing equipment you use.
I actually went super basic for most of my normal everyday vlogging stuff. I actually use just a basic Canon G7X Mark II. It's really easy to use. A little tip that I actually found out from Jimmy is if you shoot in what's called a neutral profile or a flat profile, you can actually do a lot of good editing techniques when it comes to color correction, contrast, that kind of stuff. So I would say that if anybody has a camera now, look into using a neutral or a flat profile. You'll probably be surprised at just how much something little like that will enhance your stuff. And yeah, I just have fun with it. I also have a Nikon D3300. I think it's an older model. I don't really use that much though because it's just too cumbersome. Well, like when I film, I want to be able to focus on filming, not so much everything else that comes with it.
So you're in school right now. Are you studying to be a filmmaker, or are you studying something else?
No, actually, I am going full on corporate chill. I am studying business right now, concentrating in entrepreneurship. So, yeah, complete opposite actually of what I think my life is actually going, but that's okay.
Do you have an idea of what kind of a business you want to start?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm thinking about going to the nonprofit sector, whether that means starting my own nonprofit or not for profit or working for maybe a localized not for profit. If I had a choice, and let's say the YouTube thing doesn't work out, or I decide that I want to do a supplemental income,
Yeah.
I would probably go for an internship at an organization like Chesapeake Bay Foundation or some local organization around here. That's my end goal, but I'm keeping my options open, so we'll see what actually happens. Let me see if I can unblur the camera here for you guys. There we go.
Okay, well, I'll get ready for the next question. You do a lot of like charity work and stuff like that, like cleaning up the bay. Can you elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, so every year the Chesapeake Bay Foundation has an event that they call Clean the Bay Day. And if I'm not mistaken, it involves Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. I might be lying about that last one. But basically, we go to the local watershed and we just basically pick up trash. And we try to get everybody along, like the James River, the Appomattox River, or like any type of waterway that eventually makes its way into the ocean. We try to stop the trash from getting there in the first place, because whatever ends up in our local creeks, our streams, our rivers, it all ends up in the ocean eventually, which breaks down into microplastics. And it's basically what we do every single year. They have several different places, so if anybody on the East Coast is interested, I highly recommend looking at Chesapeake Bay Foundation. We just go out in the morning on a Saturday before it gets too hot, because where I live, it does get really hot. And we just pick up trash, man. It's a great time. I've found super weird stuff. Super weird.
Life with Pet says that she can't wait for Aquashella and to meet you. When you
Sheila!
When you were at the aquatic experience, had you met a lot of those people before, or was it your first time?
It was my first time, and honestly, I feel like I blacked out because, so believe it or not, I am probably more of like an introvert, like an extroverted introvert.
Uh-huh.
So I get overwhelmed quite easily when it comes to large settings like that. But I did meet a lot of great people. I clearly remember meeting Bob there, Kasha, Zenzo. Oh gosh, there was Corey, there was Jimmy, there was Joel, there was Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and so many other people that I won't be able to name. But I met a lot of good people and still have yet to meet everyone else. So if you guys come to Aquashella, let's have a good time.
So who haven't you met that you're looking forward to meeting?
Rachael Leedy is probably who I am gunning for next, because I missed her at the aquatic experience. Well, actually, I take that back. I didn't miss her. I was too scared to talk to her. Way too scared. I was kind of hanging out at the booth all throughout the aquatic experience, and I kept missing her, like, walk by. And then I caught her outside, and it looked like she was getting ready for some type of meet and greet, so I didn't want to bother her. But she told me that she liked my bag, and I was like, thank you. And then I kind of just ran away. So I need to meet her and get her to sign my book.
I noticed that Dee from Down the Wormhole is in here. Dee, I know you were close to your 4,000 hours. Have you hit that mark yet?
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's Dee from Down the Wormhole. Now, I've kind of fallen behind in the chat a little bit. So Jeremy Wild Studios is here. And I think, as I'm scanning through,
outside.
I am sorry if I have missed some people here, but I'm breezing through here. And where in the world are you, Ray? Asks Ken.
Oh, so I'm in Virginia. Yes. So East Coast, for anybody else who's on the East Coast. I guess technically it's the South, but not really. So, but yeah, Virginia.
There you go. So you're right near Rachael Leedy, and you're right near John Hudson, KG Tropicals as well. So
yeah, like I said, John Hudson actually doesn't live that far from me. In fact, I don't know why we don't hang out more with him and his wonderful wife Lisa. One of these days, I have to go bug him.
Jeremy says that Ray has been sharing a lot of things, wise things on Twitter lately. What types of things you've been tweeting, Ray?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I have these lucid moments where I feel like I have to rant. So I don't know. It's just little things like using VPNs and stuff. You know, protecting your identity online. You know, I just ramble a bunch of stuff. So if anybody's into weird off the wall ramblings, you can follow me on Twitter.
Ray, what have you got for Plecos right now? Do you plan on expanding your Pleco collection? And what is your favorite Pleco?
So currently I have 2 albino bristlenose Plecos. Of course, I've got the blue-eyed bushy nose Pleco that's long-finned. Those are the only 3 right now. If I had my choice, which I don't have access to that many tanks right now, considering I don't have that much space. But if I had it my way, I would definitely get zebra plecos, clown plecos, and probably high fin green phantoms. And of course the blue phantom plecos too. So I feel like I could just keep adding to that list.
Well, you could squeeze a clown pleco into one of those tanks. They're small. They only get
One
like
of
4
them,
inches.
right?
Yeah, you could put one in your Blackwater setup. It would look awesome.
Yeah, I just gotta commit. It's hard to commit right now.
I know. There's a few more people in here. Also suggesting Ray's Rants. Tom
Oh
suggesting Ray's
snap!
Rants for your
Aquafunk's
Twitter.
from Hampton, Newport News. What up? Not that far from me.
He's in Florida now, but
Oh,
that's where he's from. Yeah. Jason from Fish Tropic, another Canadian. Hello, Jay. How are you, buddy? What is your, since we just kind of breezed past you're teaming up with Flip Aquatics, what is your favorite shrimp?
the favorite shrimp. Oh man, unfortunately, I killed these things about as fast as I got them too. I like black rose shrimp. When I first got my hands on them, I actually had well water, which sometimes well water can be okay, and this well water was not. And unfortunately, I lost all of them in such a short amount of time. So I'm hoping that now that I have an RO machine, that I can try again. But
So
black rose shrimp or blue dreams or fishbone or
blue
what
dreams are
else?
nice, and they're neocardinia, so they're neocardinia,
Yeah.
so easier.
So
Would
they're
you
supposed to
try?
be
Would you
easier.
try the caradinia?
Yeah, I would give those a shot too, for sure. I think blue bolts are probably another one that I would like to try.
Yeah.
Basically, I need another apartment because between the plecos, the shrimp, the bettas, I don't know where I'm gonna put them.
I tried when I first got shrimp, which was a few years ago. I'd had like the cherry shrimp and stuff, no problem. And then I got the caradinia, and I put them in with the cherry shrimp. And by about 6 months later, I had no caradinia left.
Oh
But I didn't like do anything special for them. I didn't do my research on that, and they didn't make it.
no! It happens to the best of us,
Like the
honestly.
red crystals and the black crystals.
Oh yeah. Dude, honestly, people who tell me that they've like never killed a fish or a shrimp before, I don't trust those people, if I'm being honest.
Well,
I really don't. I
it's
don't
pretty
trust you.
hard. It's pretty hard to not do that. So 2 years on YouTube, and I think you were briefly mentioning if the YouTube thing doesn't work out. What are your goals for YouTube? Is this, you would love it to be a career for you?
Career. Oh man, honestly, I feel like not like a self-hating YouTuber, but it feels so bizarre if I'm being honest. Like I never really expected to do this. But I love doing it, if that makes any sense at all. I like creating things. I like sharing things with people because where I live, there's nobody else around here that really cares about fish or invertebrates or the aquatic hobby or anything like that. So it's nice to have a community that I feel like I actually fit into for once. And I feel like a lot of us could probably identify with that because so many of us, don't have friends or spouses that really care to hear about everything that we want to talk
Whether
about.
we keep telling them or not, we keep telling them stories about it, and they just glaze over.
Yeah, for the most part, people are nice to listen, but they don't really engage. So my goal for whatever it is that I'm doing here on YouTube is to hopefully just try to be the best person I can be for you guys when it comes to accountability. And I want to foster a positive environment, a positive community, because I've noticed that there are some other areas in, other types of hobbies and stuff where they don't have a positive community. And I find that really sad. And also, if I can help debunk any myths or get people interested in science, that would be great too. So those are kind of like my wishy-washy goals.
No, that's cool. Aqua Apprentice has a good point here, everyone. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Don't forget, if you need to pick something up on your way home from work or do a little something, if you have someone out there that is going to be expecting something.
Yeah, get your loved one something nice. That way, when you surprise them with the next tank, they won't be too mad.
Yeah. So Ray, is eating lemon peels a normal thing for you? Is that normally how you would eat a lemon, or was that just for your lemons for leukemia video?
So I would like to go on the record and state that I'm not always a barbarian and I don't always eat lemons like that. But for Caleb, overall, I would eat 1,000 of them. So I think that it was so worth it. And I thought at the time that adding hot sauce would make it better, but it didn't. It didn't. And yeah, I feel like that was probably one of my most, in a weird way, one of my most negatively received videos too, because with the whole food eating aspect, I didn't realize just how many people don't like appreciate seeing other people eat. I just thought it was just a human thing, but some people didn't enjoy it, and I'm sorry for that.
I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
You've got some of the best thumbnails out there. Where do you get the ideas for them? And the costumes?
If you're referring to the bear cape, well, I can't use that.
Yeah, like the hat, the fishing, the
Oh,
cowboy
gosh.
outfit kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I learned, even though I never went to art school, is that procrastination can actually be a great thing for creativity. So, a lot of times I'll wait until the last minute to do my thumbnail,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, well, you know, maybe this will work. I don't know. Don't think about it. Just do it. And then sometimes I do things and I wonder, should I really put this out there? And I just do it. So, the cowboy inspiration came from the fact that I play a lot of video games, and the one that I was playing at the time was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of tribute my favorite video game of the current moment, and I thought what better way than to superimpose my face on the main character's head. So that's where that came
awesome.
from.
So what other... Sorry, yes?
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost it. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. Sorry to cut you off. I was just going to say, so gaming's one of the things you like to do in your free time. What other hobbies do you have besides fish keeping?
I mostly just piddle. And I say that because I have a lot of hobbies.
Okay.
Just whatever, like everything. Like I'll craft, I'll start projects I don't finish. I draw, I sculpt, I make random things. So I like to call that piddling because I don't really know what I'm doing. I just like to experiment. I used to do cosplay, but then I realized that I'm not a cosplayer. I like to make things, but I don't like to wear them. And I definitely don't like people taking pictures of me in the things that I wear. So that didn't work out. And honestly, I don't have a whole lot of time for anything else aside from school and fish. So
there's a question, same question from Long Island Fish Guy, Anthony, and Matthew Moore Cichlids. Are you an Xbox or PlayStation person?
Oh, this is a divisive question. How polarizing you are, sir. PlayStation. But that being said, I do play on the PC a lot, so I do now actually have access to an Xbox, but I've pretty much always been a Sony girl. And that's not because I think it's better, it's just what I've always had.
Got a question from Donald's Fish Vibes. Who is the supermodel being interviewed? Wow. Well, her name is Ray, and her channel is Rae'S Aquaria. Ray, I've got a question. Sorry?
I was going to say that's awfully nice, but I don't feel that way. I don't know. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Ray, I've got a question for you. Cats or fish?
That's not fair. And if I say that aloud, you know, my cats are going to hear me. So as I look over my shoulder.
You can say cats even though you have an aquarium channel.
Gosh, I don't even think I really could choose, honestly, because I don't feel like
What does your heart tell you?
Cats.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's just because I feel like I have such more of an emotional connection to my cats because they are so responsive that it's hard for me to look at that face that just walked by and to not want to pet it. I don't know.
There is a good answer here from Aqua Apprentice. How about catfish? There you go.
Oh, catfish. Yeah. Now we can do a good comparison on that. I feel like I would have to write a dissertation though. to really flesh out that argument.
From one German ram breeder to another, we've got Dean from Dean's Fish Room is in the house here. Dean, hello. Thank you for stopping in today.
Oh, hi, Dean.
Dean, have you got any questions or comments you would like to give to Rae, who is an experienced ram breeder herself?
Gosh, not even on the same level as Dean, though. I mean, he's got some real magic going on.
Amber just wants to point out that how is Nintendo totally being forgotten here?
Oh, dude, and you know what? Amber is so right. I feel like I just did Nintendo so dirty too, because Legend of Zelda, I mean, am I right, guys? I can't even believe I didn't even
My
consider
brother
them.
just got that. He says it's the best game.
Yeah. What, Breath of the Wild? Oh, gosh.
Well, the original Zelda for the original Nintendo is still one of the best games of all time.
Yeah,
So,
Ocarina of Time. Or are you talking about the actual original Legend of Zelda?
the actual original one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Legend of Zelda.
I think it's because when I think of the first one, that's when I was growing up with the N64. So like my brain refers
I think I'm older than you. So, well, Rae, I just want to say thank you very much, Rae. Rae, what's your regular scheduling uploading schedule?
Oh, that's kind of a dangerous question because I'm very non-committal at this point, but it's supposed to be once every weekend. So take that as you will. It's usually on Sundays now, but gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Life takes a turn. School's #1 priority. But if I do upload, Sundays at 9 a.m.
And you can also check out Rae on Instagram and Twitter. And she's got a website, Rae's Aquaria, where you can see what she's selling at the time. She also has some information on Bettas or Betas, however you like to say them. Are you a beta or beta?
Potato.
Yeah. However you like to say them. I would like to say thank you to everybody for watching so much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you to the mods. Thank you very much to Rae for agreeing to come on here. Rae, it was so much fun.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
I'm glad you got your first live stream out of the way.
Yeah, this is like the first legit one. It's been pretty fun. I feel like I could do this all day long. So let's do it again sometime.
That would be awesome. I would like that a lot. Once again, good night, everybody. Thanks very much. I had a great time. I will see you next week. We have got Bentley coming on with us. We're back to our regular time, 7 o'clock Pacific time, which is 10 o'clock Eastern time. So we will see you all then. Thanks very much. Join me next week for another edition of Friday Fish Facts.
Later.